Let me make this clear before I begin. I've never been the paranoid type. I grew up in the suburbs, where people don't even lock their doors at night. Nothing ever happens here, at least, nothing that makes the news. But one December weekend last year, while my parents were out of town, something happened that's still rotting in my mind like a splinter. And I swear to God, it wasn't just in my head. I was 17, a senior in high school, and had the house to myself while my mom and dad took a 3-day trip upstate to visit my sick aunt. I didn't go because I had final exams and needed the quiet to study. That first night, everything was normal. I made a frozen pizza, watched YouTube in the living room with the lights dimmed, and eventually passed out on the couch. At about 2 a.m., I woke up to a sound. It wasn't loud, just a faint metallic thump. At first, I thought it was the water heater or the furnace kicking in. But then it happened again. This time it sounded like something dragging. Not across the floor, but through metal. I got up and followed the sound. It was coming from the heating vent in the hallway. I knelt beside it. My house had those floor vents with narrow metal slits, and even with the hallway light on, it was too dark to see down inside. I thought maybe a raccoon or a squirrel had gotten into the crawl space. But we'd had our ducts sealed off last summer, and pest control had confirmed everything was solid. That night, I went back to sleep with the door closed. But then it kept happening. Each night, a little louder. Scraping. Dragging. Thumping. On the third night, I heard what sounded like whispers, coming from the vents. I recorded it with my phone. But when I played it back, there was nothing. Just white noise and a low hum, like interference. I texted my friend Ryan, who's kind of a tech guy, and he said he'd come check it out. He came by that afternoon and brought a flashlight with a snake cam. We popped the vent cover and snaked the camera in. It stretched a few feet before hitting a curve in the duct. Everything looked clean, dusty but nothing moving, until Ryan paused the feed and said, "Dude, what's that?" At the edge of the frame, barely in view, was what looked like a hand, like the tips of fingers, just resting inside the duct wall. Ryan yanked the camera back so fast he nearly dropped it. "Dude, are you messing with me?" he asked, pale as a ghost. I wasn't. We called the cops. They came, looked around, even checked the attic and basement. Found nothing. They said it was probably a trick of the light and told me to keep the doors locked, just in case. That night, I locked every door and window, turned on all the lights, and sat up in my room with a baseball bat. I couldn't sleep. Around 3 a.m., I heard it again. But this time it wasn't just in the vent. It was in the walls. I swear I heard shuffling between the drywall, followed by soft, wet breathing, like someone pressed their face against the inside of the wall and exhaled. I froze. The bat slipped from my hands. Then, I heard my bedroom vent creak open, very slowly. I couldn't bring myself to look at it. I just backed into the closet and sat there shaking, phone in hand. I called Ryan. No answer. Called 911. I whispered to the operator that someone was inside the house. They told me to stay hidden. 15 minutes later, I heard pounding on the front door. Police. They came in, swept the house again, and told me again that no one was there. But they found something. Scratch marks inside the duct, like fingernails clawing at the metal. That was enough for them to take me seriously. They called an animal control, HVAC, even a local detective. They pulled apart part of the duct system and found empty food wrappers, a tiny broken flashlight, and no lie, a Polaroid photo of me, taken through the vent. That's when it hit me. Someone had been living in my house. In the ducts. In the crawl space. Moving while I slept. The man was never caught. But they found more signs, tiny drilled holes between the vents and walls, small enough to slide a phone through. My parents installed cameras after that. We even got a dog. But even now, some nights, I swear I hear scratching in the walls. Sometimes I dream of a face watching me from the vent grill. And sometimes, I wake up to find the covers on the floor, like someone stood over me. I don't think he ever left. 10:49 p.m. My parents just left. Off to some wedding out of state. I'm home alone this weekend. No big deal. Been looking forward to it. 11:15 p.m. Just made popcorn, watching some old VHS horror movies. Trying to get in the Halloween vibe, even though it's freezing outside. The wind's howling like crazy. 11:34 p.m. Just heard a knock at the door. Thought it was a branch or something, but no, someone rang the doorbell. I paused the movie and checked the porch cam on my phone. Someone standing there. A man, wearing a hoodie with the strings pulled tight. I didn't answer. He rang it again. then stood still, just staring at the camera. I called out through the door, "Can I help you?" He didn't respond, just turned and walked off slowly into the dark. Creepy. 12:08 a.m., just rang again. Same guy. I didn't answer this time. He stood there for longer, nearly 5 minutes, before walking away. I'm locking all the windows. I have a knife with me just in case. 12:45 a.m., okay, this is insane. I just checked the backyard camera. He's back there now, just standing by the swing set. How the hell did he get back there? The gate's locked. I called the police, told them someone's trespassing, and ringing my bell over and over. They said they'd send someone out. 1:03 a.m., he just walked out of view. I think he's circling the house. I'm hiding upstairs in my room. I turned off all the lights. I can hear crunching on the gravel outside my window. The cop still isn't here. 1:12 a.m., okay, the power just flickered. Now it's out. No lights. No Wi-Fi. My phone is the only light I have. I'm so scared right now. 1:19 a.m., I saw him at the bottom of the stairs. He's inside. I swear to God. I didn't hear any glass break. The door was locked. I double-checked it, but he's inside. Tall. Hood pulled tight. Pale hands. Just standing there. I didn't scream. I backed into the closet. I can hear him walking around now. Slow footsteps on the hardwood. He's calling my name. He knows my name. How the fuck does he know my name? 1:27 a.m. I texted the police again. They're rerouting another car. Apparently, there was a power outage in the whole block. Something about a transformer. They're delayed. He's still in the house. I hear him in the bathroom now. Opening cabinets. Searching. What is he looking for? 1:32 a.m. He stopped moving. Everything's dead quiet. I'm not coming out of this closet. I think he's waiting for me to come out. 1:46 a.m. Police finally showed up. I heard the front door slam open and them yelling. Then silence. Then one of them found me upstairs. They swept the house. No one. Doors still locked. Windows locked. No sign of forced entry. But one officer pulled me aside and asked something I can't stop thinking about. "Are you sure you didn't let him in?" I said no. Absolutely not. But now I keep remembering something. 3 nights ago, I took out the trash late and forgot to relock the back door. Just once. Just long enough. They checked the cameras. Footage is gone. Deleted. Wiped. Someone knew the system. They found a single item out of place. A pair of shoes. Large men's boots. In the laundry room. Not mine. Not my dad's. Police took them for evidence. But they also found something else inside the hallway closet. A small plastic container. With hair in it. Mine. And next to it, a stack of my school photos. Torn from a yearbook. I never want to be home alone again. Ever.